PSF, what is your personal success formula? I didn't plan on using the board, but I think I should. So what's going to be our, what's our PSF? So my personal PSF actually starts the night before. So I want to be in bed by 9:30 p.m. because if I'm not, as I get a little older, I need less sleep. But as I get older, the reality is my day starts before. It starts on the night before. I actually take out my sneakers. I take out my work clothes. I typically sleep in my work clothes, my workout clothes. I leave my sneakers right next to my bed. So when I wake up at like 4:15, inspired to get to action, my feet end up in my sneakers. So whether I want them to or not, they land in my sneakers. What do I do after that? I typically, about 4 o'clock to 4:15. So before I led an inspired life, I used to work in construction. I lived in a studio apartment about as big as this little studio we've created for you guys. Had 3 alarm clocks to wake me up in the morning, one on each side of the room, and I figured out that I could actually turn one of them off with one of my work boots. I could throw it at it and it would actually turn it off. But that really wasn't inspiring. That really wasn't, I was motivating myself to go to work, not inspiring myself. So how did I, once I started to learn what inspired me, my brain actually went into overload and said, hey, we're going to get up at 4 o'clock every day because that's just when we get started. That's when you work your best is in the morning, Sean. So my brain is actually, I haven't used an alarm clock in probably 15 or 20 years. Every once in a blue moon, I'll sleep late till about 6 o'clock on a Saturday or Sunday. Sometimes I'll sleep till 6 o'clock, but typically alive, excited, and full of energy by 4:30, 5 o'clock. Why do I say 4:30, 5 o'clock? Well, after I have my coffee, I'm actually going to sit quiet. And I sit quiet and meditate. I actually meditate, do hypnotherapy, stuff like that, to kind of get my brain in the right space for what I'm about to do for the day. What's the next thing I do? Do some affirmations, visualization. So I'm affirming what I'm going to do today, and I'm going to actually affirm it by looking at what are the positive things that I'm going to get involved in today. How am I going to help somebody? What are we going to do? What are we going to get in action with? I'm also visualizing, and I'm also saying affirmations. And one of my affirmations are, I can tell you most people's affirmations, the vast majority of the public are, oh my God, I feel like shit. Oh my God, I'm tired. Oh my God, I can't believe another day. Oh my God, it's so gloomy out. Oh my God, it was snowing. Oh my God doesn't get you places. What may get you someplace is a positive affirmation of, I attract wonderful people into my life daily. Today's going to be a day that I'm going to inspire somebody to action. Today's going to be a day that I'm going to inspire myself to action. What are the affirmations that you're telling your head, or what is the story you're telling in your head? Remember we talked about this? We talked about TV. We talked about transformational vocabulary, which is from Tony Robbins and other thought thinkers like him and visionaries like him. And really what they are is, instead of using the word problem, we're going to use the word challenge. I don't know if many of you figured that out or not. Throughout this whole process, we've actually used the coronavirus by name very, very infrequently. That's not an accident. We're looking at that as another way of changing our vocabulary, kind of like a Starbucks, where they've changed their actual vocabulary in order to create a unique selling proposition for their business. I mean, if you go into Starbucks and you say, hey, I want a coffee with milk and sugar, I've done that for years and I was the embarrassed guy. I still haven't figured out how to order in Starbucks through their language. I was never very good at picking up another language, but now I can do it on the app. So I'm using artificial intelligence versus tactical intelligence to get to what I'm looking for. What am I going to do once I do my affirmations and visualization? I'm going to get into action. I'm going to exercise. Yes, exercise, not virtually on a computer, not on my Game Boy, not on my phone. In a lot of cases, I'll exercise my thumbs in the morning, writing a text or writing an email. If you want to get out and see somebody, do 15 minutes of something to get your body in line and get your body moving. Once you get your body in motion, your physical body, once it's moving, your brain will follow suit. If you can get into action every day, it works. Believe me. What do we do next? We record or we scribe, we write, we journal. What's something to journal, which is AID, which is actually from a friend of mine, Thatch. Big shout out to Thatch. He's a great thought thinker out in California. I'm sure he's doing some very interesting stuff right now too to help people get back, to get their heads back in gear. So Thatch actually teaches a concept called AIDA. It's appreciate, intention, delegate or declare, and then appreciate again. This could be also called gratitude. So what are we talking about? How do we use this concept? How do we use this acronym in our daily lives? First thing is we're going to appreciate what happened the day before or past. We're going to appreciate that we woke up in the morning on the green side of the grass, standing vertically. There's a lot of people that didn't get up this morning. Okay. We're also going to set an intention. What are we going to set an intention today? Today I'm going to be the guy of inspiration for my family and my kids. Today I'm going to be the guy who's going to inspire my friends and family to action, to faith, to confidence that we're going to be okay. I'm going to be a leader as opposed to a follower. I'm going to be somebody who is not surviving. I'm going to thrive today. Who are we going to delegate to? We may have a staff or somebody that we're trying to get something accomplished. Like, let's say you have a large business and you're operating virtually. You may delegate to your assistant to do these things virtually and to do these things and for this person to delegate on things. You could also delegate, hey, I'm looking to attract this many things into my life and here's how I can do this. And here's the people that I'm going to enroll in helping me to do that. You're also going to declare. What am I declaring? I'm declaring today, instead of do, have, be, which is what we've been taught from the time we were kids, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this, and then I'm going to have this, I'm going to have this, I'm going to be that person. The challenge is most of the people out there never get to be anybody. What do I mean by that? 93% of Americans out there are not financially independent by the time they're 70 years old. I'll say that again. 93% of the population never achieves the person they're trying to be. So how do we do that? We reverse it. Let's reverse it to be, have, do. What do I mean by be, have, do? Let's actually be the person we want to be today. Let's be inspired. Let's be thrive. Then we can have the things that that person has, and we're going to do the activities it takes in order to be that person. If you're not sure, go model somebody. Find somebody else who's already doing it and get into action. So once we do all that, then what are we going to do? Last thing we're going to do is we're going to role play, we're going to practice. Doing things without, like, it's kind of like trying to play football without a helmet on. If you need to, or if you want to, call a friend, call a family member and say, hey, you know what, I'm going to speak to my team about this virtually. I haven't done this before, so I'm going to practice. I mean, got it, this is the new norm. It's not much different, but sometimes a camera, sometimes a virtual process will intimidate some people. Don't be intimidated. If you're not sure, role play with somebody, practice with somebody.